you've won the championship, have you, despite getting nowhere near the £1 million prize money? Feeling rather good about yourself after all that time and effort? Perhaps you should get out more. Goodbye. Think you're the ultimate strongest link, do you? But look at how much, or should I say how little cash you've managed to win. Pretty poor, don't you think? And just think what you could have done with £1 million. Oh, don't even think about it. Perform like that again and you'll never know. Goodbye. Of course, only one of you can take the prize money away. So now you will be playing against each other head to head. I'll ask alternate questions, 5 to each of you. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5 questions each, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. Of course, only one of you can take the prize money away, so now you will be playing against each other head to head. I'll ask alternate questions, 5 to each of you. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5 questions each, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Angela, what's the standard of local government like in Norwich? Your residents should be queuing up for a refund on their council tax. If they've got any sense, I think you might be going off back to bird watching, don't you? Arthur, like watching current affairs programmes, do you? I think you must nod off in the middle of them. I bet the people of Hove are relieved you're a retired bank manager. Otherwise, 1 or 2 of them might think twice about putting their money in your hands. It's a pretty demanding job, the civil service, is it, Austin? I hope not, because you don't cope very well with pressure, do you? And you say you want to go into politics. Well, your performance today probably lost you any potential votes. Hardly the sort of display to inspire confidence, was it? So, Jenny, you're a receptionist. Well, I can only hope you're a bit better at answering the phone than you are at answering questions. I mean, that sort of performance is hardly going to inspire confidence in anyone, is it? Do you think perhaps you've been spending too much time manicuring those beautiful nails of yours? Lorraine, so you're the sporting type. Yes. Well, you're clearly not an intellectual. Your students are going to give you a bit of stick when you get back to Glasgow. You might just be for the high jump. Karen, a secretary from Romford. Is your shorthand any faster than the pace you've used today to answer questions? And what about your typing? Do you make as many mistakes at that as you did here today? I think maybe you ought to stick to shopping. Well, forewarned is forearmed. Remind me never to go to Northampton if you're the sort of policeman they have there. The place must be like the Wild West. Tell me, Steve, have you ever actually managed to catch a criminal? Because you certainly didn't manage to catch on much here today, did you? Tell me, Eddie, do you ever actually manage to find any of the places you're supposed to be driving your lorry to? With your knowledge, I'd be very surprised. And these pub quizzes you go to, the emphasis, I suppose, is on pub rather than quiz. So, Nicholas, you want to go into politics? Well, you've certainly got all the right qualifications, a tenuous grasp of reality, and, of course, that wonderful ability to get everything absolutely wrong. I was going to ask you what precisely it is that a commodities trader does, but after that performance, I don't think I'll bother. I doubt whether you'd know. Tell me, Samantha, like to exercise, do we? Work out in the gym? Perhaps a bit more time developing your brain power and a bit less working on your muscle tone might have been a good idea. So, Tony, a recruitment consultant. And you think you're qualified to advise other people on the best job for them, do you? Tell me, have you actually got any clients, or have they all run away in despair? I think they probably will after they see your performance here today. Gary, a graduate living in Bristol. What precisely did you graduate in? It certainly wasn't anything connected to questions or common sense. Are you going to get a job when you grow up? Will you ever grow up? Jez, dear oh dear, weren't you paying attention, boy? Too much giggling in the back row, is that it? I have a feeling you won't be taxing the GCSE examiners too much. Fail is a pretty easy word to write. So you're a medical student, are you, Kate? Well, that performance really restores our faith in the medical profession. I mean, if that's your level of accuracy, I wouldn't even come to you with an ingrown toenail. I'd probably end up with my leg amputated. Lucinda, you're a caterer from Kensington. Remind me not to book you next time I'm having a dinner party. Can you honestly tell the difference between a courgette and a lamb chop? And I hope you're better at making money in your business than you are at banking for the team. Otherwise, if you're not already bankrupt, you certainly will be very soon. Jules, you're studying fashion design, are you? Well, not much evidence that you can match answers to questions. Do you ever expect to design anything that goes together? And you like performance art. Not much evidence of performing very well here today. Ravi, you're a trainee accountant. If you ever qualify, there should be an investigation. Not much seems to add up for you. You may be good at cooking the books, but I can't believe you've ever read one. Well, if the accuracy of your reporting matches the accuracy of your answers, Sarah, I imagine you're constantly being sued for libel. Instead of spending so much time reading society and fashion magazines, perhaps you should invest in a good encyclopedia. I think that might be of more use. Sapphire, that was a real gem of a performance, wasn't it? You might be called after a precious stone, but you seem to know precious little about anything else. Now, you told us you like all things physical. Is that right? I can see that, because you obviously don't excel in the mental department. Tim, I'm afraid you haven't done much to dispel the myth that computer programmers are just anoraks. Talk about a systems crash. I think you need to leave that screen and get out a bit more. Then you might discover there's more to life than floppy disks and modems. I have to say, William, I shall certainly think twice before I ever travel by plane again if you're the sort of person controlling the air, and to think the government want to sell off air traffic control. I think that performance of yours will wipe out about 20 million off the price. So, Maeve, you like being a barmaid? I certainly hope so, because I don't rate your chances of ever doing anything else. I think you've been spending far too much time in the pub. Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 7 players in the game could win up to £20,000. They don't know each other, however. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. But 6 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team. Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 7 people in the game today could win the total prize money. They don't know each other. However, if they want the money, they'll have to work as a team. But 6 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team. Join us again for the weakest link. Bye. The first round lasts for 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. Let's play the weakest link. Round 2. There are 6 players left. We are now taking 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Let's play the weakest link. Round 3, you are down to 5 players. We're taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Let's play the weakest link. Round 4, there are 4 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have only 2 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Let's play the weakest link. Round 5, 3 of you left. We are cutting another 10 seconds from your time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Let's play the weakest link. Round 6, and just the 2 of you left, and this time you have only 90 seconds. But whatever you win in this round will be tripled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. So £7,500 is at stake in this round. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Let's play the weakest link. Round 6, and just the 2 of you left, and this time you have only 90 seconds. But whatever you win in this round will be tripled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Let's play the weakest link.
This is not a game for slackers. There are no gimmies, no do-overs, no lifelines, no hints. You play as a team, but be ready to betray everyone to be rich. The weak of will, the unsteady, the ones who make excuses, all will leave with nothing. And if you fail, I will tell the whole world you are the weakest link. Goodbye. This is not a game for slackers. There are no gimmies, no do-overs, no lifelines, no hints. You play as a team, but be ready to betray everyone to be rich. The weak of will, the unsteady, the ones who make excuses, all will leave with nothing. And if you fail, I will tell the whole world you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Someone is stopping you from scaling the summits. Who's the one still stuck at base camp? Who do you want to push off the edge? I fear someone here is just passing through. Who has outstayed their welcome? Who do you want to see check out? Who's reached the end of the road? Who keeps directing you to a dead end? Who needs to get out and walk? I urge you, if you want to be winners, get rid of the losers. Who's bringing up the rear? Now is your chance to lap them. Who's out of form? Who keeps spurning the easy chances? Someone needs to be kicked into touch. Which player can't keep up? Who's bringing up the rear badly? Who's nowhere near the finishing line? Who keeps taking their foot off the accelerator? Which one of you is the slow coach holding the others up? Pick up some speed by dropping the culprit. Who's bringing the rest of you down? Who would it make you happy to wave off? Cheer yourselves up. Chuck 'em out. Someone's performance needs polishing up. Who needs to get the boot? Who are you going to kick out? Which one of you always seems stumped? Who keeps getting clean bowled? Who do you want to hit for 6? Someone here needs to brush up their performance. Who keeps cleaning you out? Who needs to be swept off the game? Which player has passed their sell-by date? Who's been sitting on the shelf for too long? Is there someone here who needs to head for the checkout? Who's not delivering? Who needs to be redirected? Here's your chance to have them return to sender. Who can't cope with the pressure? Who's making your blood boil? Who is a very sad waste of time? Who doesn't convince you? Who's trying to pull the wool over your eyes? Who's all mouth and no answers? Who's the disaster area? Who needs to be cordoned off? I urge you, call in the emergency services and have them extinguished. Which one of you is the big bad wolf? Whose mind, sadly, is emptier than Mother Hubbard's cupboard? Who's trying to turn your coach into a pumpkin? Who's causing a problem? Whose replies are a bit of a puzzle? Whose donut has run out of jam? Someone here is stopping you from steering a straight course. Who keeps taking the wind out of your sails? Who urgently needs to be cast adrift? Who is least likely to improve that final bank balance? Who is no longer useful? Have the courage to vote off the weakest link. Who is barring you from building up the bank? Who is upsetting the balance? Who are you going to ask to withdraw? Why aren't you making more money? Who is damaging your deposits? Who needs to be told to cash in their chips? Who here isn't blossoming? Let me remind you, you cannot afford dead wood. Which one of the team needs to be pruned? Someone here clearly is not in the swim of things. Who's out of their depth? Who's not waving but drowning? Who's weighing you down? Who do you feel you're carrying? Who would it be a great relief to drop? Someone here is always losing the points. Who's having trouble keeping up? Who needs to be returned to the library shelf? Who's the clown ruining your chances? Who do you want to send through the trap door? Who's all ambition and very, very little talent? Who's no longer a contender? Deal them a knockout blow and send them out for the count. Whose pathetic performance is too pitiful to prolong. Whose tank has run out of petrol? Whose gears are stuck in reverse? Whose skills are sadly non-existent? Is there a village that's missing its idiot? Who is the midget among intellectual giants? Whose brain has already gone home? Who's a margarita short of a party? Who's not the freshest onion in the soup? Who's several shrimp short of a barbie? Who's dead weight? Who would it make you happy to wave ta-ta to? Cheer yourself up and chuck 'em. Who is the hole in your pocket? Who is the luxury you cannot afford? Sling the slow coach, dump the dunce. Who's slower at delivering than the post office? Who needs to be redirected? Here's your chance to have the return to sender. Who can't do their job? Who seems to be out to lunch? I urge you, give them their pink slip, send them packing.